Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another Brony Debates. It is I, the Brony King of Controversy, Brawny Buck, the ultimate villain of the fandom, here to farm the fandom for more content and easy money. Yes, that is me.
Yeah.
And I am joined by my most common collaborators here, people who are surely not as wretched and deplorable as I am. We've got Heather Blossom and DJ Skywalker. How are you guys doing tonight?
Pretty. I got some wine. I can already feel my muscles relaxing, and they're kind of sore.
Kind of sore. Which
Yeah.
muscles are sore?
Kind of around my shoulders, base of my neck.
I'll fix that for you later then. That's a pretty easy fix.
Yeah.
Indeed. So, DJ, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right. Just got a dog that wants to play while we're doing this, so I'm having to deal with that.
Animals always have the worst timing. We've got these two cats over at our house, and those things always want to play right as we're trying to go to bed. So that's unfortunate. We got Trent in the chat saying hello, and Cool Vanity, which is a name I don't believe I've seen before. So welcome to the show. I hope you enjoy tonight's show. So here's what we do on Brony Debates. We're gonna talk about whatever comes to mind. Tonight we've got more Equestria Daily community soapbox posts that we're going to read through them and see what we think about them. We've got a Reddit thread to check out as well. So we're gonna see what kind of crazy nonsense the Brony community has come up. We've had a few recurring names on this series, haven't we? There's that one dude, I can't remember his name, but it's more like he gets on the community soapbox and then writes fan fiction. You know? Okay, so we're very grateful to everybody who supports the channel, especially the $10 and up tier, such as Heather and DJ who are with us tonight. There's also Shady, Autoknight, Emerald, Senko, Rein-Kun, Billy, Alden, Kanto, Mr. Sonic, Alicia, Calbeck, StarChaser, VentureCorp, Willyzin, Icanus, Vulpecula, Raptors Talon, Jimmy, Yoshi, and Dark Malcontent. Be sure to check out all of those links in the description. We also have, we got a GoFundMe going on. You notice the bar at the top there. I needed some emergency dental surgery a few weeks ago, and I could use some help, recovering from that. If you guys are enjoying the show and feel so inclined to tip, there's a tip jar as well to get a comment read out, live. There's the Patreon for as little as $1 a month. And also I'm going to show you guys my website, where I teach karate as well, if you're at all interested in that, right? So this is broniesdojo.com. It's in the link tree. I might put it in the chat as well so you guys can see it. I do both online and in-person classes. So if you're at all interested in that, check it out. I wonder if the video I just uploaded got synced to the website. Yep, there it is. There's the video I uploaded where I'm swinging this stick around like I know what I'm doing. Anyway, let's get into the content, shall we? So, today we've got the community soapbox, rise in trans bronies, the fall of the brony music scene, and more. What do you guys think?
Hey, Brawny, I don't see what you're showing.
Oh, that's right. I gotta send it to Discord. There we go. All right, so you guys should be able to follow along now.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I needed that.
All right, so who wants to read the first one? What happened to the brony music scene?
DJ, you take this one.
I gotta take the music scene.
Yeah, I thought you were the music
guy. Feels like stereotyping here.
Totally.
Because my name's DJ doesn't mean I know about music.
Well, you did this to yourself, man.
That's some kind of ism, but I'm not gonna go into it.
Hey, I haven't been tested.
I don't know. I don't know what the name is for being biased against somebody for their name. I've never even heard of a case for that. In fact, hold on, detour here. We're gonna find out. Is there a name for bias against someone's name? Name bias. They just call it name bias. Come on, we need an ist or a
Nameism.
phobia on this type. Come on, I'm gonna have to come up with an actual name for that. All right,
Find
go
the
ahead.
Latin name for name.
Go ahead, DJ.
All right. So what happened to the Brony music scene by Corifix? Okay. The Brony music scene, once a vibrant and integral part of the fandom, has been experiencing a notable decline, in my opinion.
Oh no.
During its peak, artists like Wooden Toaster, The Living Tombstone, and Aviators produced memorable songs that united fans and celebrated everything about Pony. Seems like around 2016 we saw a shift, though, as the old guard left. Okay, I'm gonna be. Here's my unpopular opinion. Almost no Pony songs are good.
Really? I like a few.
Yeah, a few, but like the stuff that they play at like conventions, most of it's just techno garbage.
I feel like you're correct. Yeah, you're totally right. But like, there was good artists that would play that crap because that's the crap that people want to listen to. Like, you can't listen to DB Pony or Forever Free Brony and all them and tell me that they're bad because they have such hard-hitting metal albums like Holy Fire, Kick Ass, Betrayer, so hardcore. But they won't play that at concerts because the majority of fucking bronies want to hear the fucking electronic music that has voice bites from the show. I'm so sick of that stuff. I'm sorry, I'm upset.
Like there's I have a good handful of Pony songs in my playlist, but like that's it. It's only a good handful. Most of it I can't stand.
All right, so finish reading. I have some thoughts, but we'll get into it later.
I think part of it is the listener's fault. Oh, here we go. We stopped dogpiling new people. We got picky. Back in the day, you could be pretty average. Misspelled average there. Average. It can be pretty average.
We've got some average right now.
And get a huge following. These days, only a handful of people get any attention, and they are on another level of skill. To revive the Brony music scene, it's crucial for fans to actively support new musicians. Yes. Dig through open music and give critiques to people here, or just search Pony music on YouTube for how useful searching on YouTube is these days. But that's another soapbox. Please do your best to make sure the best ones in get some love and can grow.
Okay.
I'm sure to tell you where that certain sentence, but yeah, there's some points there, but like I want to stand by. Most Pony songs aren't good.
I'm with them in that, like, hey, we should be welcoming to new artists, like always. But like, you like what you like. I'm not gonna pretend I like something when I don't. I'll try to be nice about it and be like, it's not really for me, but I could see people liking this, or like, because I'm not musically inclined typically. I know what I like and I know what I don't, so I couldn't really give great critiques, but I'd probably just be like, I don't like this. I like things similar to this.
So here's what I think. This is there is a nostalgia factor at play with some of the, because at first he listed here wooden toaster, living tombstone, aviators. So we've got 2 EDMs and a orchestral EDM or progressive rock sort of guy, which is a lot of what we saw in the early fandom, and he's right. Especially like the mixing, like bronies were incredibly talented musicians, but it took them a while to really get good at mixing things very well. And with very few exceptions, we don't really have a whole lot of vocalists. But yeah, there's a huge explosion of EDM. I think partially because that's the type of thing that just most bronies happen to be into at the time, and they're getting locked onto the nostalgia there. And then they just sort of, I think it's the music issue, the falling of the music itself, despite the increase in average production quality, is more of a shrinking of the brony fandom issue rather than you know, us. So there's an aspect of nostalgia here, but it's also the fandom has shrunk a little bit, and you know now there's not a lot of musicians. There's L Train for rock. There's Forever Free Brony, who is probably one of the best musicians in the fandom. There's also Prince, who
Prince whatever is the
yeah,
best right now.
That was the last one. That's the person. That's the last Pony song I've listened to was from Prince. Whatever was Twilight Learn to Fly, and it's basically a parody, but it's still
yeah,
good.
he's got a few parodies, but he's extremely good there. So there's a, and they've been around for a while, but the really famous ones that we sort of stick to, you know, it's a catch-22 with things like conventions, because that's where a lot of people are going to get introduced to new pony music. But the people that are going to sell the tickets have been in the fandom for a long time, and we're very familiar with them. So you know what you got to do as a convention is mix in a couple of lesser known warm up acts, which you know are pretty good too. BronyCon had Whoopmaster and Violet, and there was this one rapper at Everfree Northwest, and I can't remember his name. I might be able to find him if I dig into my records here, but he was a skinny redheaded guy, and he was really good. And I never saw him again outside of like 2014 or something like that at Everfree Northwest. So I'll have to look into that. So you sprinkle a couple of lesser known acts, you know, in the beginning, just after the beginning, just and you can get a lot of new coverage that way. Equestria Daily, though, being one of the bigger sources of where people keep up with the fandom and find new stuff, has this problem of only posting their favorites. So so you see a lot of Black and Blue, as well as Black and Blue is another one that's really good for rock, and you see a lot of those same names there, but you don't really see a whole lot of the new ones. So yeah, that's what I think is going on. I don't think the Brony scene is dead. You know what's really funny though is Whoopmaster had a song called Brony Rapper from back in like 2015, I think. So it's kind of an old song at this point, but it very you know, it goes into this type of thing really great. And at the end of the song, he just sort of starts talking and says, "We used to be about imagination, creativity, but now we're just a cracked mirror of the industry. A few well-known names put out the generic hits, and the folks trying to be unique barely get anything." So it's like we're still stuck in 2012, only jamming the nostalgic tunes that we know so well, and it's our own fault. The pony music scene is dying, but at least on my end, it's not going to be for lack of trying. That's the end of that.
I can kind of feel it. Like I can see where the complaint comes from, but you know, as long as we like kind of try to look for the gems amongst the rough, I think we'll be okay. Prince whatever's still going strong. He's got like over 90K subscribers, and
Yeah.
like I was on his channel like a second ago, and I already forgot what I saw.
So Corifix, I would recommend staying on top of things like Equestria Daily and Horse News and anywhere else you can find your pony content that you know that curates it and puts it out there for people. Keep your eye on the recommended section of your YouTube channels, and you will find the new artists. And then just be the change that you seek. Send them out to everybody that you know. If you find a really good if you find a really good one, or try to start like a blog yourself of like, hey, this is what we found that's like in the lesser known side of the fandom that not as many people, you know, they're not the horse famous people. You could call it the underdogs or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah, we're all dealing with the same dilemma. I can understand this.
DJ, do you want to add anything before we move on?
Mainly it's just like with how much the fandom's kind of just gone quiet. This is kind of to be expected. So like, especially with music, that's a lot of work from some people that probably aren't as passionate as they used to be. And it's not like G5 is bringing many new fans.
I don't like, we mentioned Wooden Toaster here. Wooden Toaster, I don't even think has been active. Like, I don't think Wooden Toaster's put out a song in several years.
I'm gonna look up Wooden Toaster.
And Living Tombstone moved on to other stuff.
Yeah. Let's see here. Is the Brony fandom more trans than other fandoms? Okay.
I'll take this one.
Right off the bat, this is very... And we all know I'm an expert
That's a very, it's a pretty objective question. Is the Brony fandom more trans than other fandoms?
More trans than other fandoms.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yep.
It surprises me that it no longer surprises me when horse famous people I've known for years suddenly swap genders. That's an interesting way to put it. In the pony fandom, becoming trans is almost commonplace at this point, especially among the content creators. This is fascinating since I'm also involved in the furry fandom. Over there, a lot of people just end up gay. It's pretty rare to find someone go trans. I wonder if the cartoon for little girls just appealed to people that were on the fence years ago and they look at it a few years here to finally accept themselves. It would be fascinating if someone would do some real scientific analysis of the two fandoms and figure out why furries are so gay and bronies are so trans. Anyway, just some thoughts. What do y'all think? Hey, they got a point. I've noticed that. A lot of furry people are gay. A lot of brony people have been trans. But maybe it's just because these fandoms are conducive to that being okay to be. Like, I certainly don't think if you were in the freaking Call of Duty fandom that you would be pretty out with being gay or trans. I think it's because the Brony fandom is pretty much pretty accepting in those regards that it's like, just more common. At least that's how I think it pans out. Like, a lot of people just don't have a problem with you being a trans person.
All right, DJ, do you have anything you want to say before I go into the rant?
Keep it PG.
I don't know.
I'm gonna keep. It's gonna be extremely scientific. But go. So DJ, what were you saying?
I don't know much about the furry community myself. I've seen it, but like, I don't know. I can't really make that comparison. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's a brony thing specifically or if it's a society thing. I don't know.
Okay,
so yeah, it's in society these days. It is more common these days for people to just be out with it. Like, they don't have to like be in the closet forever.
Oh, that's not the case at all.
I also have to wonder if there's some kind of hidden pressure to it as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm about to.
Other things to go into.
That's what I'm about to go into. Okay, here's the thing. I don't know if the Brony fandom is more trans than other fandoms. Because I really only participate in the Brony fandom. And but I know a lot about transgenderism. And I know a lot about gender dysphoria. I've seen a lot of people go through it, and this is what it is. A lot of people that experience gender dysphoria are falling into one of three camps. A lot of them. And by a lot, I mean the high 90 percentages. We're talking they're autistic. I think it's like 1 in 6 people with gender dysphoria are diagnosed autistic. And what that is going to do is and it's roughly the same effect as being in the Brony fandom in general had an effect on, because like 9 out of 10 people in the Brony fandom are autistic. So there's a lot of overlap there, and the way that is if you're heavily autistic, especially like lower end on the spectrum there, before you start getting into the where it stops becoming autism and starts being autism spectrum disorder. We used to differentiate the two of Asperger's and versus autism, which was on the lower end there. Then you become attracted to, you don't typically fit in just because your brain is wired differently and you interact socially differently than other people. So it's difficult to fit in. You're going to have perks elsewhere. But they don't really do you a whole lot of good if you have trouble making friends. So that's why we come to Friendship is Magic, where there's forgiveness, where we're learning how to understand each other, and work through those interpersonal problems that we otherwise might not get a second chance. There's and it gives us hope for that kind of thing, and it gives us community for that kind of thing. And then we had the explosion of transgenderism which is, when you get down into it, is roughly the same thing, where these, autistic people are saying to themselves, okay, I don't really fit in with the, what we typically understand as a man. And so therefore I must be a girl. But that plays into some really silly gender stereotypes that, never really applied to anything. And now we get into things like social contagions and social pressures, where if somebody, especially somebody who's autistic, sees that there's a lot of acceptance and, regardless of what you are and what you do, if you just join this movement, then you're more likely to going to be choosing to acknowledge latch on to these movements. And self-identifying as gender dysphoria is one of those things, and that brings you into the medical industry side of things, where it is extremely profitable to diagnose somebody with gender dysphoria, even if they don't actually have it. And we'll get more into that later if you ask me about it. A lot of these, there's also, because of that attention-seeking side of it, a lot of people who self-identify as gender dysphoric now have a lot of other comorbidities, and the most common one is narcissistic personality disorder, which you get if you ever don't affirm somebody with gender dysphoria or trans. 100%, they just freak out on you. That is a narcissistic tendency. And then the third most common camp is autogynephilia, where you are sexually aroused by the idea of yourself as another gender, which coincident. Heather, are you okay? Is something wrong?
Yeah, the freaking cat jumped onto my shoulder and hit me in the head. Achilles! Hold on. I'm fine. I'm sorry. I'll mute my mic. You took the hats with you.
Oh, geez. Something crazy going on over there.
Sorry. I'm not. If you heard anything from me, it's because Achilles, he was being affectionate, but then he jumped on my shoulder and he's clawing the chair. Yeah. Sorry.
No, okay.
Also, Zeus is with me, in case you were wondering about him.
So to continue what I'm saying here, a lot of them also have autogynephilia. Now, that type of thing is going to develop out of being exposed to pornography in your developmental years, which the Brony fandom is really bad about, and for some reason we have a thing for futanari artwork, which So imagine. And a lot of this comes from the furries as well. The furry bronies out there. So you get these things, and you get these kids that stumble on this stuff, and it screws with their hormonal and mental development, and then they start they become sexually attracted. It becomes a fetish, and then they want to enact that in real life. And there's some overlap between these three things, but those are the three most common things. And then, of course, one in literally like 10 million get actual gender dysphoria, where you have trouble recognizing the reality of what is on your body versus what you think should be a part of your body. There's a lot of different forms of body dysmorphia out there. That's one of them. They have comorbidities with schizophrenia, and can often be treated with either schizophrenia medications, depending on the severity, but more often than not with good therapy, because it's also usually gender dysphoria in its real sense is often connected to sexual trauma of some kind. Now that's why we see a lot of it in the Brony fandom. Depending on which person is, but I'll guarantee you which person is you're talking about is most likely going to fall into at least one of those three things. Now, for the furry community, I'm also going to say it ties back to to how fascinated they are with porn. And most furries I talk to have said that yes, it's part of being furry is the fetish stuff, which will also have roughly the same sort of corrupting side effect on young kids and young teenagers as they're coming in and they get exposed to the gay porn. They end up turning gay.
Like the frogs?
Not like the frogs. The frogs was something totally different.
All right,
I do know about the gay frogs.
You put a lot out there. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say I don't really agree, and I don't like. It doesn't seem true to me, but I know you think these things because you've seen a thing or two, and it adds up that way on your side of it. I'm on the more optimistic side of the Brony fandom was just a very accepting place to come out. And people who just realized that were more inclined to come out that way because they were in a fandom where it was just kind of like, yeah, cool, buddy. But I see why you would say those things. It is a lot.
When you see it to this level, in such a short amount of time, with something that is so extremely rare, and not just in the Brony fandom, but in society in general, the way that transgenderism has exploded in the last 4 to 5 years, there is no other explanation for it outside of social contagion. It's statistically impossible.
I see what you're saying, though I just don't think that's the reason. And, agree to disagree on that.
Right.
But let's move on from here because we're already almost...
Yeah, I've wanted to have that debate for a long time, but I got to find somebody who's on the other side that just doesn't flip out the second you disagree with them. And that's, a huge part of the reason.
I can see the difficulty. It's a very dicey topic. I don't want you to get your hopes up for that conversation because, it's a very dicey topic and it's just hard to discuss.
Right. And at the very least, if I am wrong, it should not be hard for somebody who knows as much as I do, but on the other side, to disprove me. But nobody ever does that. They just flip out, right? And
the debating skill is a rare one, Brawny, so it would be difficult for a normal person to do it for you. But let's move on because we're almost halfway through here, and we got to talk about AI.
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so let's I'll take this one. And are we at the bottom already? Okay, here we go.
Only 3 this time.
Okay. AI and the future revival of G4 by one of Mixmaster's cronies, I'm guessing.
Machinima F?
Machinima, yeah. Machinima F. Oi. Oh, sorry, had a little belch there. Okay. Am I the only one excited about the future of AI? Oh, frick.
No, Hollywood's pretty excited about it.
No!
Unpopular opinion man over here. All right, so G4 is something most of us still obsess over here, and we have a new technology that might bring it back. OpenAI announced their Sora model a while back, which looks a little terrible right now, but when it comes to the AI, we already know things improve tenfold every year. We already have pretty passable pony voices that haven't seen the current world of AI voice work for those improvements yet, and plenty of data to train off of thanks to fanfics and anyone else. Of course, we can't ignore the human factor. Lots of amazing creators in the fandom have brilliant ideas in their heads, but no place to really get them outside of fanfics. Can you imagine some sort of the greatest of all time getting a full-on G4 tier series? As much as I love the animators in the fandom, it's pretty much impossible to get anything going there due to how long it takes. So AI really can bring everything back and even give us a season 10. I'm really excited. I doubt we'll see anything significant for another 2 years or so, but the technology is moving so quickly that it would be very surprising if people aren't making episodes of their favorite series in the future, especially since a lot of it is open source and unfiltered. Thanks for reading. Let me know what you think. How are we going to let you know what we think? You don't have your contact information anywhere. So just do it on Twitter. We're gonna copy.
You're just supposed to comment it here on the page.
So excuse me, sir. The reason people have such a problem with AI is because it depends on stealing a lot of work from established artists. And You could, we could go up to Mixmaster and be like, "Hey, Mixmaster, why don't you just make the redo the season yourself? Just get AI
Cordero
to
and
do it all for you."
Cordero DJ and I think somebody else sat down with Mixmaster for like 2 hours.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there.
We sat down with Mixmaster for 2 hours and tried to get him to see exactly what they're saying here. And the dude just, that dude needs therapy.
He's like, if Hasbro doesn't make it, I don't want it. That's just not being very compromising. It's not cool, bro. But yeah, like the problem with that is the voice actors wouldn't appreciate you using the AI for that. That's their voices, that's their work that they probably could have been compensated for. That's the big issue. It's because if you use an AI to do voices, those are like already people who do that voice, and you're taking a job from them. That's why they had that big strike, I think, a while back, is because it's like, hey, don't take my fucking job, don't give my job to a machine, because not only does it not do it as well as me, like fucking people need to live. And the AIs, it's not as advanced now. The AIs can't inflect the way a human can inflect. Because I've seen quite a few AI covers where they're trying to get, and sometimes it works, but a lot of AI covers that use like a popular voice, like say from Hazbin Hotel or even from My Little Pony, just don't know how to inflect their voices in music. Like the freaking song has to be something where the cadence is the same all the time, and the voice actor will have had to have that cadence at some point in time when they were voice acting. So there's a lot of flaws with it.
I've seen it done well with the music, and sometimes I don't mind it when it comes to like fan animations, because the Brony fandom doesn't have very many good voice actors, and even fewer that can come anywhere close to the voices of the main six and make it sound convincing. And then that gets filtered even further by the ones that have halfway decent mic quality. So we got a lot of that stuff going on. But when it comes to like professional grade things, I don't want AI voices or animation anywhere near the industry. Those need to be people jobs. I don't mind it occasionally for fan animations and fan projects and things like that. Those can be funny in small doses, but it's definitely not going to be as good as what this guy is saying. Because even if you can
He's
get the
very
voices,
optimistic.
even if you can get the voices, you still got to animate it, and the animation's always going to be the hardest part. I'm going to tell my stream right now that I am trying to figure out how to animate with motion capture. But that's going to be an endeavor all in on itself, especially when I try to translate from the motion capture of my bipedal form into the quadrupedal form of a pony, and then also got to figure out how to make it look show accurate, which is probably going to require a different drawing for every possible angle that I can move my body in.
If we're going 3-dimensional, you can just get the SFM models and throw that on top. Or you know what? We could put the mocap suit on the cats. They're already quadrupedal.
Yeah, but the cats can't do fight choreography.
Just put the freaking mocap suit on them and wait for them to fight. They do it every few minutes.
It's true. So yeah, that's DJ. What do you think about all this?
I think, as it stands currently, AI for the industry is not good. What I think it could be good for is if you turn it into like the Vocaloid stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's a
Vocaloid?
personal program and you use your own voices. Your own voice. You can alter it however you want, make it a program like that, and then you can work from there.
I thought that's an interesting idea too.
Use yourself. Like Vocaloid synthing used to be.
I'm gonna
that's
tab
actually a
over
good,
to YouTube here, and I'm gonna show you guys a song that uses AI voices, and I think is pretty good. Let's see here.
Yeah, I think that AI could be cool if you got the program somehow, and the only thing you trained it on was like your own art or your own animation. Be like, okay, animate this in my style, make this in my style.
Or like if you're doing it with commissioned work, get the artist's permission. Just say, hey, I would like to commission this and I would like to use it in my own personal AI program. Will that be
Oh,
okay?
as of
It will
now,
not be
like
available
freaking
to the
no
outside
artist is
world.
gonna agree to that.
Well, I mean, you can have, if it's a personal program that doesn't access the outside world, that's something different.
That's
know,
a
but, like,
Pandora's
no
box.
artist-
There's no way
like,
it's
no
just gonna
artist
get
that-
limited to that.
Like, I know artists. No artist is going to be like, hey, yeah, I'd like a commission, and so I could train it into my AI program. They're going to immediately shut you down and probably block you. Artists, like, you say AI to an artist and they start hissing, man. It's not going to work.
Yeah, but listen to this.
You can do it yourself then, I guess. Sounds like
Now the thing about BGM
I hear
here is he is extremely talented as a musician, so he's able to pull it off. But just listen to the way that Fluttershy starts singing in a minute here, and yeah, well, tell me what you think.
Everything will be alright. Don't worry about the crazy stress of life, 'cause it's short and there's a lot to do, and it's easy for the pressure to get to you.
Did you guys hear that subtle vibrato?
I do.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear this again in a second.
We'll get through the chorus here, and then we'll talk about it more. So yeah, which it can work with music. We'll pause it there. So yeah, that's we can do some pretty impressive stuff with AI, and I certainly wouldn't have trusted very many vocalists in the fandom to get that close to Fluttershy. What was really impressive about that was that it even had that subtle vibrato that I mentioned, which was something I would have thought only a human could have been able to do. So yeah, it can work in some cases with music and small voice acting bits. There's still that MLP Pickle Rick one. I love that one so much. There's Chrysalis's anger management classes. That one's freaking hilarious too. So yeah, that I don't know. I don't want it for something crazy on an industrial scale. That in fact, and I would support legislation to like forbid that, or at the very least fine you heavily if you get caught using AI when you should have been hiring people for it. But for just Joe Schmo in his computer room wants to make a funny little video, then yeah, AI can be a great tool for that person.
Yeah, there was like this guy who made a Scooby-Doo fan animation and he used AI voices and everyone gave him shit about it. I never even saw the video. All I heard about was the controversy.
Well, I guess we'll have to find that video then. Let's move on to the next one, and I will let the audience know that because I saw somebody join the Discord server earlier, and that was really good. Thank you for joining, Ruby Sparks in the Discord server there. So that Discord server is there. That you guys might come in and make your voices heard on the show. So if you've got something that you want to say to us or make a comment on something that we've talked about, so, just do me a favor and in that Discord server, raise your hand and tell me what you want to say. And if I find you interesting, I will give you permissions to join the call. Hopefully your microphone is halfway decent. And your microphone and your internet connection are halfway decent to be able to join the Discord call. So yeah, be sure to let us know. And in the meantime, let's see if we can get through one more community soapbox. We've also got this thread that Heather sent me, who has done the most evil thing. There's more to it. King Sombra pooping a child without...
That's a...
What?
No, sorry, go on. I was saying, like, that could be a whole debate of itself. Who has done the most evil deed in My Little Pony?
Yeah, so maybe we'll get to that next week, and that'll make everything easier in terms of planning. Now then, Mayor Spam, evil infection.
What is Mayor Spam?
I don't know. We're going to find out G4 future and more. You know, Heather,
we
I
got
was
more
in Publix the other day, and I saw G4 characters on pull-ups, which is crazy because we're so far removed that nobody who's going to be we're so far past the end of G4 that nobody who's going to be needing pull-ups right now it would have it was alive during G4's run. So that's crazy that they're putting is G5 doing so bad that they need to put the G4 characters back on pull-ups in order
I
To
mean-
be
to sell
fair,
anything.
because of My Little Pony being on Netflix and streaming services and such, the younger generation is being exposed to it. Like my nephew, I'm making a Rainbow Dash plushie right now for one of my nephews because he asked for it for his birthday. Because my mom and sister want to limit the TikTok and YouTube usage. All they're really putting him on is Netflix, and he watches My Little Pony. Friendship is magic. So the younger generation does get to Gen 4 sometimes. I mean, we have newer fans, they're not as much as before, but we have newer fans who are young, who are still kids, who love Generation 4 of My Little Pony because they watch it on Netflix.
You
Okay,
can't
that
watch
makes
the whole
sense.
series on Netflix, right? Aren't seasons still missing?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Alrighty.
But
then.
I mean, honestly, I think G5's doing pretty bad because when I'm going to stores and stuff, I don't see any toys.
I found some in the clearance section at a Dollar General.
In the clearance section of a Dollar General.
Dollar General is the only
Yep.
place I've seen toys.
That tells you everything you need to know right there.
I've been trying to catch up on Tell Your Tale, and it's not awful. It's pretty all right.
Tell Your Tale is fine. Much better than the 3D
Tell-
models.
Yeah, Tell Your Tale is better than the Netflix series. I tried so hard to finish the Netflix series, and I don't even have that much to go. But Generation 5 on Netflix, the freaking Make Your Mark series, is so goddamn boring. It is
My
so
Little Pony
boring.
is done until they hire me as the lead writer and executive producer and give me full creative control. It's not you screwed over Lauren Faust and you ended G4. So now you're not gonna get anything that good again until you hire me. Now then, what if what if Human Flash and Twilight got together by
Oh,
our
Disney-
favorite
Disney
fiction
Channel
leader, canned cream, according to Trent, or at least Trent's headcanon. Double C. Do we even want to bother with this dude again?
Canned cream. I feel like canned cream wrote better than this. Hold on, I'll read it.
Okay, so yeah, go
For-
for it, Heather.
For the last What If, Equestria Girls introduced to us many things, and for ones like me, Twilight's first crush, Flash Sentry. But this is where things get complicated since we see both the human and pony versions of Flash and Twilight, like the human version. While there were opportunities for Pony Flash to develop, but some think there were actually opportunities for Human Flash to develop. So what if Human Flash and Princess Twilight got together and faced many challenges? If you all remember in Camp Everfree, Sunset told Flash to accept he will never see Princess Twilight again, and that Sci-Twi is not the same. However, in the end of Spring Breakdown, we see the Human 7, Bulk, Derpy, Lyra, and Flash in their pony forms, which also hinted that all the guests and crew of the ship have also turned into ponies, while left us guessing on how they reacted. But Human Flash was perhaps surprised and happy to see the Twilight he knew and reenacted his flame. Also unknown if any knew about the portal, but if Human Flash knew, he would come and go if he pleases to see Twilight. While both Twilight and Flash would be happy to be reunited, but now Human Flash would adapt to pony culture and form. While many would be a challenge, especially playing the guitar with no fingers, but Twilight can teach him. The other is equestrian law and custom, since this would be part of his duties as a prince. But if Sunset can adapt to her human form and human culture, so could Human Flash. So in all, Human Flash would be more of a trophy husband than being involved in royal duties, unlike his pony counterpart, but would make Twilight's life good by keeping the castle clean and comforting her after her duties. Also, he could teach music, like his pony counterpart, music at the School of Friendship, of how music can bring everyone together. So, who would Twilight be better off with, Pony Flash or Human Flash?
So many typos.
There was a
Oh,
lot going on
frick.
there.
This dude and Rusty in the chat. Oh gosh, the grammar. Ah.
I would say Twilight should be with Pony Flash Sentry because regular Flash Sentry obviously should date Derpy, and a regular Pony Flash Sentry should get up in that business.
I will grant, at least they gave Human Flash some character. Pony Flash got nothing. He was a cameo at best.
He
Yeah,
really
where the
was.
fuck's my Flash Sentry Pony lore? The
And I
fuck?
think he had, what, 2 lines? I think he had one in the first movie and then one in, like, the season 4 finale.
Maybe, I think.
But either way, I mean, it could have been interesting, but then you also have to factor in they are clearly not teenagers on the other side.
Yeah.
Twilight may turn into one on the human side, but she is clearly not a teenager.
Maybe ponies age differently.
I've read fan fictions about that too, where it's like, people just straight up ask Sunset, "How old are you?" and Sunset, still being in high school in the fan fiction, goes, "Oh, I'm like 27." It's freaking, yeah. I don't know. That was one of the least sensical things about Equestria Girls is the way they translated the ages.
You just gotta accept that Equestria Girls was its own weird thing.
Yeah, I know, I do, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to comment on the weirdness.
I mean, that's just you in a nutshell. You're always gonna make a comment.
I do like making comments. I got a lot to say. I got a lot to say, and people don't usually ask me about my opinion, so I have to make up excuses to get it out there before I frickin' explode.
I mean,
so sad.
I like the concept of Twilight and Flash, but like them them making it canon in the series.
Yeah,
it
I mean, I don't know.
Unless they
I
gave
like
Pony Flash
Flashlight.
character.
I like Flashlight as a concept. I would take it.
I like flashlights too.
I would also take Flash and Derpy because like every time Flash got shut down in those Equestria Girls movies, Derpy was right there patting him on the back. Derpy was waiting to catch the rebound. Yes,
Real
I know
MVP
that's
right there.
yes, I know that's just, shipping bait. And she's probably just a very nice person who saw somebody who was going through it and was like, "Oh, let me go comfort that person. Let me right." But I could totally sympathize with somebody who puts on the shipping goggles and goes, "No, Derpy's trying to catch the rebound."
I love it.
I'm surprised
Now,
I
what
haven't
about
seen that
Timberlake?
fan fiction yet.
I
Wait,
saw
what?
a very poorly written one once.
Oh God. But DJ, what did you just say?
Now, what about Timberlight?
Timberlight? I don't know. I think because here's the thing. When I first watched that movie, and right up until like I made a Buck to the Face Legend of Everfree, and because like I was making a Buck to the Face Legend of Everfree, and I was like, oh my God, no, you're a camp counselor. There's probably a ridiculous age gap right here. And then shortly after I released that video, the creators came out and go, no, it's literally in the script. Timber is 16. And I'm like, okay, now I look like a freaking idiot. But sure.
Yeah, I swear I was telling you too, like, nah, you don't have to be that old to be a camp counselor, like 18 at most.
But right,
Which,
but
you know,
and what I
whatever,
would
but
counter
she's
with
like
is like
15 or something.
Plus, their
there was-
family owns the camp.
yeah, at one point in time I was a camp counselor, right? And here's the thing is if you're a camp counselor and you're like 16, 17, 18, you are a camp counselor to like 10 and under, right? And you're under the supervision of an adult counselor as well. But you are not camp counselor to fellow 16-year-olds. Right? That's how everybody gets pregnant at camp. That's what happens when there's 16-year-old camp counselors and 16-year-old campers.
Not if Jason Voorhees has anything to say about it.
Yeah, exactly, but that's not the point.
Speaking of it, it's crazy how he's in multiverses. Like, I'm not over that. Why did they add him to multiverses?
They had the rights. It just took a little bit of money. Heather, on an unrelated note, Heather, have you seen the game Multiverses?
I feel like I have. I don't remember.
It's pretty crazy. I'll show.
It's the
Like I
Warner
was playing
Brothers
it last
Smash
night.
Bros.
I was playing it last night with Brony. I got to show you the character roster. They got Finn and Jake. They got Batman and Bugs Bunny. They got
Is that
okay, I
Fiona
think I've
yet, or
seen
is it
this.
just cake?
I don't know. They got
'Cause I don't-
Garnet.
I don't know.
They got Garnet.
Darn it. Yeah.
All right. I just realized I forgot to put my phone on vibrate. Anyway, do we have anything to add to this, or do we move on?
Yeah,
that's
I think
about
we.
that.
I think we're. It's a pretty like topic that's been done before.
Yeah. Okay, where should the Generation 4 move next? I'll take this one. On the night of March 18th, I learned the hard way that censorship is not the clear reason why animated movies stay unreleased for a long time in certain countries, especially Rainbow Road Trip. Most often, it's because of obligations with other companies, in the case of Hasbro still refusing to leave Discovery Family when their contract didn't expire as we thought it would. Regardless, either way, I still want to see Generation 4 content available on any streaming service other than YouTube. That is, except Max, since Discovery Family is now part of Warner Bros. Oh, shoot, Discovery Family is part of Warner Bros. We're going to get pony characters in multiverses.
Nah.
Yay!
I doubt it.
Twilight Sparkle for multiverses. Let's see here. YouTube doesn't work for me either because the show keeps stopping at season 4 in almost every language over there. And none of the Equestria Girls films and specials get released in those same languages. There's already less popular shows than Friendship is Magic available on Netflix, Tubi, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, and many others, but My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and Pony's Life still remain only on digital purchase stores, and that's not enough. What's even more, Rainbow Road Trip still needs Danish, French, German, Greek, Italian, Norwegian, Castilian, Spanish, Swedish, Thai, and Turkish dubs at the very least. Holy frick. Okay, so I'm very curious to know why this is so important to Fire Puppy, right? Because in some ways I have simple solutions, but they're also like not really simple. And if I knew more, I would know why. Like, why does Fire Puppy need all of these languages?
I don't.
Okay.
Maybe Fire Puppy just has a lot of international friends. I can get that, but then I'm just like, why don't you just watch it with subtitles like we all do with anime?
It could be a lot of these languages probably had dubs of the show. That could be what he's getting at. And like maybe his favorite special is Rainbow Road Trip, and like that one didn't have an international dub.
All right, well, here you go, guys. Yayponies.no. And you've got everything. You've got the comics, you've got all of G4, all of Equestria Girls, the movies, Pony Life, everything. All right, so yes.
I gotta get
Fire
to the
Puppy.
Equestria Girl stuff again because I dropped off the Equestria Girl stuff and there was apparently a lot of cool stuff that happened.
Yeah, so Fire Puppy, you can have it, not legally, right? So just
Like I think that is the issue though, is because with Hasbro and having those mixed rights with Discovery Family, that's probably why not all of MLP is on Netflix. When Hasbro basically made their deal to have all their stuff exclusive to Netflix.
interesting.
Because like you don't see their stuff, you don't see their more recent stuff on any other things.
Yeah. So I can tell you why there's no dubs in all of these languages, and that's simply because that would require a crew, which would require money, lots of money. So if you want dubs, you're going to need to organize fan dubs. You're going to need to go to
You know what?
Yayponies, and you're going to need to learn how to do audio mixing. Now there are tricks to like, you know, because the way they do it with dubs is that they send over like the studio that made the original sends over to whoever is distributing in whatever country they're working with. They send the whole project file over, right, with all the tracks and everything, and then they just mute the original after they translate the script and do the voice acting and match the lips and all that, and then they put it back in, and then of course they got to do some retiming. They might need to open up the project file and they might, you know, go as far as syncing the lips again. Cool thing about coming over from other languages to English is that we can very easily match lips. So even, you know, so we have like a million other words for whatever it is you're saying. So if the literal translation from, you know, doesn't necessarily match the lips, we can change a few of the words where it does match the lips and essentially says the same thing. It's a very complicated process, but if you know what you're doing with audio mixing, you can turn off the vocal track or drastically reduce the volume on the vocal track of these things, and then you'll still be able to dub over it with your language, and you know, it won't be perfect, but it'll, for the most part, solve the problem, and you could be proud of yourself for making something. There's also, you could also just sub it, right? Like, you could just, if you know the language, you can just painstakingly go through the movie, type out every single line. It'll probably take you 40 hours of work, but it is very doable.
Okay. I wanted to add on to this because this reminded me of something that I wanted to bring up during the AI thing, but you went on forever about something and it made me forget. But Emerald told me the other day that Hasbro, I think for either Make Your Mark or Tell Your Tale, was starting to dub the language, like, you know, do the voice dub in different languages with AI as opposed to actual voice actors. Like, they were trying to do that. So that might also be a reason things have not come out in a different language, is that they wanted to do it with AI, but now they're running into hitches with that because people do not like it when you do that.
Yeah, I saw that on Equestria Daily, and then I saw an updated headline that says, like, that whatever source we got that original information from was may or may not have actually been from Hasbro, and more likely wasn't actually from Hasbro.
Yeah, we'll see. It sounds like something Hasbro would totally do.
Yep. All right. So, DJ, do you want to add anything to this?
I mean, it'd be nice if it was available on more streaming services. Like, honestly, if it was on Tubi, that'd be great.
What is Tubi? Like, what?
It's one of those free streaming services that just has ads all over the place.
Oh, okay.
You can find a whole bunch of old stuff on there. Like, you can find all of the English dub of Yu-Gi-Oh on there.
Ew.
Oh, cool.
And like, I think Gen 1 is on Tubi. And My Little Pony
Gen
Tales.
1? Oh, I thought that was like Gen 2.
No, Gen 2 didn't have any shows.
Oh.
Gen 2 was a toy only thing.
Oh, God, I can't keep up with other My Little Pony shit. I can't keep up with any shit, I think, is the thing.
Man, being an adult sucks.
Anyways, Mare Spam is kind of cringe, right? What the fuck is Mare Spam?
You take it away, Heather.
I think this one started as just a meme, but people have sort of fully embraced it, and it really annoys me with how ridiculous everyone gets about it. The mare spam that has popped up over the last few years is getting a little ridiculous. People defining their entire lives around only loving mares, almost in an incelly way where they reject real women. It's super cringe. Yeah, you really sound incredible right now, Olivine. Especially when I see if completely open in public on spaces like TikTok where comment sections have few guys that only love mares and reject everything else loudly. Anyway, I just think people need to cool it down a bit. That or seek therapy if it's not ironic for you. Bruh, like the mare thing, that was like fucking Mare Fair's thing. They just like saying mares a lot. It's not that complex. Incels are just everywhere.
It's more of a 4chan meme. And I agree.
It's just a meme.
The you know, the constant spam of the meme. I mean, any meme that you spam like that is gonna turn cringe. But when it comes to things like 4chan, the word mare may very well have sexual connotation to it, and that's or undertones at the very least, and that gets worrying because you don't always know who's serious and not when it comes to people from 4chan. That was why I was like initially trepidatious about Mare Fair. Like, oh god, you know, these guys are going to be like, this is a bunch of 4chan memes. This is going to be the weirdest of the weird that we see here. And it turned out to not be that bad, but it was definitely the frickin' meme over there.
I have fun.
The question I have for Olivine here is, where are you getting all of this exposure? Because, like, yeah, we saw it more than usual when we went to Mare Fair, which was like the thing about Mare Fair. But where are you outside of Mare Fair where you're just getting all of this mare spam that it's driving you so much so crazy to go to Equestria Daily and get on the soapbox about it? That's what I'm curious about.
Yeah, look at this.
I have no idea what this is. Is it the TikTok thing? Like, I don't get it.
They just say mare over and over again and just make puns involving the word mare. It's like, look, it's the mare mobile. Hey, it's my best mare. Hey, I don't know, mare.
The one they
mare.
did in the show that pissed me off was when they said mare pattern baldness, and I'm like, any idea why that doesn't work? You still could have used the term male pattern baldness. You did not need to turn that one into the horse pun. God almighty.
But pony puns.
Yeah.
It's not always, as the pun aficionado, I will say that it is not always necessary to make a pun. In fact, sometimes making a pun detracts from other puns. It's all about the comedic timing. It did not need to be mare pattern baldness.
I think we need to ask a true pun aficionado. Where's Silverquill?
Where the frick, like, yeah, okay. Silverquill makes puns too. So does Mastercode. That does not make me any less of a pun aficionado. The frick are you on?
But you disagree with me, so.
Yes, I disagree with you because you're wrong. Have you ever considered that? That you might be wrong?
I mean, have you?
Yes, I do it all the time. That's the whole point of this show. Come on here and change my mind. Tell me I'm wrong, right? The thing is that it's not true. It is objectively false. You lose. Good day, sir.
I don't know. I feel like a winner.
Look at this one. The Gorn
Alright.
infection
Oh, it's
AU is
Olivine
just
again.
gross. It's Olivine again. Hold on, I'm gonna read this because it's short. Get out of my way. I don't understand why people like seeing ponies mangled and testering with, what the fuck is that word, pustules so much?
Yeah, pustules.
Yep.
But here we are. Olivine, I'm starting to think you're just not any fucking fun. A new fandom has emerged, quote unquote fandom, because they're not part of the fandom, has emerged that do this almost as a religion, constantly corrupting ponies in weird ways and spamming videos about it. I get the idea of creepypasta, and a lot of those are cool, but there are many that just want to post ponies in pain and suffering with no creepypasta around. Can we just appreciate cute ponies and not revive the old cupcakes concept? Maybe it's just a teen thing where people want to be edgy. I don't know anymore. It really makes the fandom look bad, though. Shut up, Olivine.
I'm with Olivine on this one. Like, I don't understand the fascination.
I'm gonna grant you this. Yeah, it is like a teenager edgy thing. They want to see the thing they already like that's cute and ponyfied and be like, hey, what if this, but grim dark? It's experimenting with an art form, with something they're already familiar with. It's just expression. And what do you being spammed with it? The only reason the algorithm brings you that shit is because you interacted with it. So if you're seeing it, it's being spammed to you, it's your own goddamn fault.
Well, hold on. That may or may not that may or may not be true. Like, if Olivine, who I'm assuming is a girl, goes on TikTok and, searches My Little Pony and, scrolls through that, eventually it's gonna go, oh, Olivine likes My Little Pony, so it's everything that's going to be on My Little Pony is going to get. And since the infection AU is so popular right now, it's going to come up more. So Olivine is probably getting interaction with it that she's trying to avoid and isn't asking for.
I'm going to say you're incorrect. I've been on TikTok. I've liked the My Little Pony stuff, the AU stuff, the infection stuff. I barely get it. So either there's not as much as they're saying, or like it's just not geared that way. like freaking, and it's not all like that. I'm gonna grant you, yeah, sure, there's some people there's like, this is Pinkie Pie but covered in blood because edgy fun. But it's people have been really creative with their alternate universe, like the Falling Stars one, that Emerald Shoki that's been going on Instagram is very creative, very interesting. And I just hate this because I feel like you're being kind of a fuddy-duddy when people are out there trying to be creative, maybe in a way that you don't appreciate, and I can respect that. But freaking, they're being creative in a different way, and I like it. I like people expressing themselves in different ways. Do some grimdark, do something wholesome, do slice of life, do something completely, I don't know, your coffee shop AU bullshit. I don't want to stifle creativity.
DJ, what do you think?
I mean, personally, can't stand any gore or anything. I can barely do gross out these days, but like, is this really all that new? I mean, this stuff has existed for the longest time in the fandom.
Yeah, Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory have been around since 2011.
I'll give you this. The Infection AU thing is more of like a zombie apocalypse kind of situation, which is different than Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory for sure.
And I mean, we already had blanks for zombies.
It came out of, it really did come out of nowhere though. And on my laptop, I've had tabbed video for a long time. That was some kind of infection animation. I just haven't gotten around to watching it yet, but at the very least, like it doesn't sound like it's my thing, but at the very least, I want to know like more about what's going on in my fandom.
I mean, maybe it's just stuff. I'm not seeing this stuff. I don't know what these people are complaining about. I'm not seeing this stuff that's standing out. Like all of this is typical pony stuff.
Like, that's making me more inclined to believe that they're very much exaggerating. The only way it's being brought to you this much is if you're interacting on it, and considering the fact that you're willing to make a community soapbox post about this, you're probably putting negative comments on those people's videos saying, hey, this is dumb, you're making a cute thing corrupted, blah, 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 and that's why they're bringing you more on the feed. I've had morons like this in my comment section saying, you're ugly, I don't want to see this. And I'm like, stop, why are you commenting then? I'm gonna be on your feed more now, you dumb bitch. Give me your views.
Alrighty then. So I don't think there's much else to add here. And the next thing we've got is, you know, the one that'll be a debate all in itself. We'll tackle this one next week. Who has done the most evil thing? King Sombra pooping a child without her consent, Lord Tyrek stealing a pie, or Misty Bright Dawn disorganizing someone's collection? We'll figure that out next week.
Lord Tyrek stealing a pie thing was hilarious.
When nobody was looking,
steals a pie.
Yeah, when nobody was looking, Lord Tyrek stole 40 pies. 40 pies. That's as many as 4 10s, and that's horrible. All right. Before we close out tonight, let's answer this question we've got on Equestria Daily here. Who is your favorite music-themed pony? And we've got Vinyl Scratch, Octavia, Songbird Serenade, Sapphire Shores, Featherbangs, Countess Coloratura. Okay, right off the bat here, Featherbangs doesn't count. Just because he sang a song doesn't mean he's musical.
But he's very Bieber much pony. A Justin Bieber. Yeah, he's Bieber pony. Bieber Brony.
Okay, so let's see here.
I don't want to be a basic bitch and say Vinyl, because that was my first instinct. Maybe Sapphire Shores. We don't see her anymore.
She never even had like a musical number. Like everybody's like, oh my god,
something that pisses me off.
Yeah, they're like, Sapphire Shores is the biggest pop star, never sings in the show.
Like,
I'm reading a story right now where Sapphire Shores is a changeling, and that's a really interesting story. It's called All You Need Is Love, and it's themed after the freaking Beatles song.
So Vinyl's a DJ in the show. Octavia is a background orchestra, I think.
Yeah.
Songbird Serenade sang one of the worst songs of the movie.
I like that song. The frick are you on?
I absolutely can't stand it.
Wow.
Maybe I don't like Sia's music. I can't stand it.
Well, Sia isn't that great, but Rainbow was really freaking good.
I can't listen to that song.
I jam Rainbow unironically.
Sapphire Shores, I loved her personality. She was a great personality. I wish we actually got to hear her sing.
Yeah.
Featherbangs, I skipped most of that episode. It was too much cringe for me. Countess, I mean, the auto-tuning spell was hilarious. But at the end, the song was okay. It was okay. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more on Sapphire just because she had such an exuberant personality.
So I'm between Songbird Serenade and Final Scratch because those two had the most. Well, actually, in
So Brawny's the
between
basic bitch.
three-way tie between Countess, Songbird, and Vinyl because they actually had a lot of music in the show.
Well, it said who is your music themed pony, your favorite
the
music themed
best?
pony, not like
Yeah.
who's had the best music. I'm gonna do Sapphire Shores just for
And
the
it's not like
funsies.
Vinyl ever sang or had an actual song.
Yeah, she didn't either. She just kind of like threw the
Vinyl had
beat down.
some-
For
She had the wedding song
that was
she
Twilight
duetted
singing
with.
it, though.
No, she had the weddings. Well, yeah, she DJ'd that wedding song. Thank you for reminding me. I was referring to Slice of Life, where she duetted with Octavia, and she had music to my ears, and she DJ'd for the Rain Booms at the end of Rainbow Rocks.
Music to my ears was her listening to music, though. We don't know that's her. We don't know if that's her song. That's
You're
just what
right.
she's listening to.
I mean, it is a vinyl song, but you're probably right that there is a chance that it wasn't her music. I think it's. I mean,
That was a song for the vibes.
all things considered, I think it was her song, and at the very least, she was the centerpiece of that song. So I think it counts as a vinyl song, in one way or
Sure.
another. So okay, it sounds like you two are voting for Sapphire Shores. And I'm the odd one out here, but I do want it on the record that I would have voted for Vinyl Scratch.
I'm just saying, a lot of these music ponies, they'll
wanna see the
are
votes.
not the ones that had the best
And of
songs.
course, I don't need to vote for Vinyl Scratch. Vinyl Scratch is in a 10-point lead.
The only person below Sapphire is Featherbangs.
I mean, it says a lot when a lot of the musical ponies did not have the best songs in the show.
Featherbangs was the dude at the frat party who brings his guitar and goes off to the side and is like, "Hey babe, I wrote you a song," and then plays A, B, C back to A minor on the freaking and pretends he's singing to you.
I bet you're going for a Gravity's Falls joke.
I don't remember what
I
you're
want to point
referring
out
to.
in the chat, Ue Mazzotto said, for me, Octavia and Vinyl, you get to pick one. You pick one. You don't get both.
Let me scroll through the chat real quick and see if anybody had anything interesting to say before we really get out here. Ui Mazzettel said, I think the MLP fan music died down, I think, because of the new musics that they want to make, like Living Tombstone was for Friday, Five Nights at Freddy's, and put them on the map. Or Wooden Toaster, I'm not sure what happened to. Okay. Moving on. Ue agrees with Heather about Prince Whatever. Let's see here. Trent is glad that my mic is fixed. I'm glad too. Turns out I might need a graphics card update, but for the most part, yes, my microphone is fixed. I just needed a new cable. And to do okay, so Ui Mazadel says, yes, I'm trans, but I don't want to go through the transition. Okay, so here's the thing. Transgenderism is by far the worst thing for your health that I have ever seen in my whole life. So I would highly discourage I would highly discourage it from what transitioning would do to just about everybody that goes through it. It's horrible. So just take that into consideration. Let's see here. CJ Bear just joined the Discord. Very good. Janaku the Angel Hog says, hey Brawny, what's going on this subject? That's probably back when I was doing my my best Matt Walsh impression. Let's see here. Vulpecula said Mad Munchkin left DeviantArt over the concern of AI.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Mm-hmm. So did our friend Swift Yuki. And probably others that I'm not sure about. Like I don't know if Countess still posts on DeviantArt. Cosmo Spirit says my concern using AI art in a lot of everyday use is the abuse of people getting lazy. Okay, so I think AI would be halfway decent for menial like data entry tasks. But it definitely should not be being used for art in a professional sense. Do you guys agree?
I don't know, maybe it's me being selfish, but it probably would be the only way I could make a TV show.
Let's see here. Motion capture is going to be the only way that I can animate. You know, I was really hoping somebody would teach me, but nobody's been able to teach me, or nobody's tried rather. Let's see here. Trent says it gets worse. AI was used for Willy Wonka-like event in Glasgow. Glasgow. You guys remember that one with the freaking memes that came up? Yeah. Yeah, that guy did all his advertising with AI, and he did his writing with AI too, and it was just freaking a mess. Let's see here. Honeydrop says, I actually use an art AI. You write a description or prompts, and it, come on now, generates an image. It's actually helping me with learning to streamlining my character description. Okay, so I guess I could see AI as a learning tool. Like if you can generate a pose and then go from there to try to like figure out shading or things like that or line art by tracing, comparing, contrasting. It could help someone develop their style if used correctly, but yeah, it's just too easy it's really easy to be unethical with AI. Let's see here. Gamer Alien says RIP Red versus Blue.
Oh yeah.
And I got skipped down to the bottom here. Creepy Nugget says, yeah, the infection is for teenagers who like the edge. Heather says, Death Heather. Or Rusty says, Death Heather. Yes, give me your hatred. In referring to you liking your hate comments.
Oh, you know what's a guy who gave me a hate comment recently? It said in his very own name that he was an English teacher, like his name was English teacher whatever. And I think I told him, it's like, don't you have a bunch of kids that don't respect you to learn how to write or something?
Mm.
It's like, bruh, you're using your professional account to talk shit? It was on a cat video too, so I'm like, you talking shit on my cat, bro?
Jeez, yeah, that's pretty dumb. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up there, so I can go make a late dinner for Heather and I. We're gonna have some beef ramen.
Ooh.
Hungry.
Yeah, I'm a little bit hungry too. Rusty meant to say Darth Heather. So anyway, yeah, thanks to everybody who tuned in. I saw a couple of new names in the chat. I hope you enjoyed yourselves and enjoyed the show, and I hope to see you back for the next show. Next week we'll be doing more Friday Night Fights. I ran a poll on my YouTube channel recently. When do you think my streaming schedule should be? And everybody seemed to lean towards Friday Night Fights and then debates on Saturday. So we're gonna try to stick to that as much as possible. So yeah, have a great night. DJ, anything you want to say before we sign out?
Good night, everybody.
Alrighty then, Heather, how about you? Closing thoughts or just say good night?
Rusty, it's too late. I am Death Heather now. Good night.
Have a good night, everybody. Thanks to everybody who supports, especially the $10 and up tier, such as Heather and DJ who are with us. There's also Shady, Otto, Emerald, Senko, Rain, Billy, Alden, Kanto, Sonic, Alicia, Calbeck, StarChaser, VentureCorp, Willyzin, Icanus, Vulpecula, Raptor's Talon, Jimmy, Yoshi, and Dark Malcontent.